How's it going, everybody? Welcome to week 7. We're flying right along, and we've covered three of the world religions, the Abrahamic religions, which kind of what we'll do this week, just a quiz on those. I'll get to that in a little bit, or the midweek check-in. I did Padlets. Good. I looked them over. Good. I think everyone did a good job of highlighting a pillar of Islam, if you will, faith, prayer, fasting, Hajj, or charity, and giving an example as well. One thing that I keep meaning to forget that I want to mention is that last week it was actually very interesting. It was the start of Ramadan on February 17th, but also correlated with the start of Lent. So for the Abrahamic, good sort of Abrahamic religion correlation of Lent has started, Ramadan has started. There's also Lunar New Year last week. So kind of though I don't think it's Lunar New Year. It's more the moon and the New Year, but celebrated in Asia. So we have a lot of celebrations going on right now, which is good. So yeah, I looked those over, gave my comments back to those. Just kind of one thing right now. We kind of in Abrahamic religions we kind of know about there, and now we're going to move into sort of other Asian religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, other Shintoism, things like that. I do want to reiterate and make a point that that religions. I mean, we talk about these religions in sort of a large sense, but I just want to that these religions aren't monolithic, right? There's Christianity is the name of this religion, but there's a lot of different types of Christians out there. Similarly, Islam is the name of religions with a lot of different types of Muslims. Buddhism is a religion with a lot of different types of Buddhists. So just talking about these religions, be mindful that there's one thing to talk about the religion in itself, and then the practitioners of those religions as well. So and I think Christianity is probably the easiest one to kind of look at that prism through of there's many different types of people approach Christianity in different ways. So that's kind of that. We'll move on there. Again, the rest of this week is just sort of explaining how Islam became a world religion, that it expanded out of Arabia, and then you have this similar to sort of how Christianity moved out of Europe and expanded to the rest of the world in the age of expansion, circa 1500. Islam came out of the Arab groups, brought it out of Arabia, and then three major throughout sort of Middle Ages, I guess. You have the Abbasid dynasty, the Ottomans, and then the Safavids and the Mughals. So this is kind of how Islam spreads throughout much of the Middle East, spanning all the way from ultimately to Morocco and West Africa, all the way to Indonesia. So again, religions aren't monolithic. There's a lot of different that Islam and different ideas of Islam are and different Muslims and are spanning around those groups. And I kind of talked about that a little bit of different modern nations that are Muslim nations, but they approach that as well. And some of them are more secular, some are more religious. But that's kind of how it goes with world religions. You can see that reflected in different sort of Christian religions or Buddhist dominated nations or Hindu majority nations. So, that kind of wraps up the Abrahamic world of it, which gets us to quiz 1. Please do look over the review guide of that. We have those are all the terms you're responsible for. So I pulled those all out of our the lectures and course materials, textbook. My quizzes are all open notes, so you can use anything you want there on your quiz to help you. The first one is maps. So I just want people to be familiar of geography, where things are in the context of there's a lot of sacred sites and places, pilgrimage sites around that I want people to be familiar with. Fill in the blank, more terms. There'll be a word bank. You just fill them in. I do want you to note that sometimes when you fill that in, if Lamaku might mark it as wrong, if it's misspelled or if there's extra space, don't worry about that. I'm going to go back and I'll go back and check all those. So if it's right and it's correct, it just Lamaku marked it wrong, I'll go back and fix it. Same with matching. If something's the matching section is A and B and A, B, C, D, E, F, and a few numbers there. Sorry, definitions and terms, so match the right ones. But if any of them are messed up in the beginning of the quiz, I'll read over that as I go and read the last part, which is short response. So there'll be 2 questions, one on the function of religion, one on the substance of religion, just straight from the textbook. So review those sections there. And then what I want you to do then is take ideas of function of religion as defined by the textbook and give some examples, at least 2 examples from the course materials we've talked about from 2 different religions. Similarly, substantive, what are some examples from the course materials that talk about substance of religion. So be familiar with what function and substance is as defined in the textbook, and how what we've learned in the context particularly of these Abrahamic religions up there. I think that's it. So yeah, and the quizzes, one is open note. It's available to take from Friday at 8 a.m. to 11:55 p.m. Lamaku is going to automatically generate 40 out of 50 points, I think. Yeah, let me see, 20, 30. Sorry, 30 points. So if you get 30 out of 50, it's not that you missed a bunch. I have to go back, and I'm the one who grades the short response there as well, and that's 20 points at the end. So, all right, I think that's everything on my notes here. Have a good rest of your week.